All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. This is Mookie, joined with Darth Beaver, Delgarn, and we're going to recap another week of Marvel Strike Force, and also talk about what's on the horizon. But definitely a lot to go over. So I'm gonna have two separate shows for those that are on Twitch. I know I just kind of jumped right into it, but yeah, the first part of our conversation is going to be all about Spider. I'm going to bring in Spider Society, but it's also recapping the escape from Kyln and going over the blog posts. Those are kind of three main points I want to do on the first part. Second one is going to lead into, I don't know if what's upsetting the community or not, but it's all about the old man Logan trials. So we'll talk about that, and yeah, hopefully you stick around, and enjoy it. Good morning, Orthu, and good morning again to everybody else. Good morning, Darth. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty okay. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And Dale, how are you doing, bud?
Doing good.
All right, man. Well, welcome again, man. Just round tabling it, and let's jump into it. I don't. I just have a lot of notes here, and it feels. I don't know why it feels overwhelming, like a job, but it feels overwhelming. Which I kind of will start off with that. I know it wasn't something I kind of recapped on the intro there, but I'm gonna bring it up on live a little bit. And if y'all don't want to talk about it too much, y'all don't have to. But I want to talk about a little bit on some of the retirements of the game. Some folks. I feel like what this kind of happens. Does it feel like this happens to you guys as far as like after like a big the race that goes on for like DD7 here? Like I don't know if it's exhausting or it just kind of feels mundane to some. But I mean, would y'all say that's kind of around the time period where people start kind of bouncing out as once they're done because they feel like they're building up a whole year to get to that point, and then once they do it, whether they want to continue to do it or not, they just kind of, it feels that's kind of where some of the big names start leaving, or people just leave at any time, I guess. I don't know. But for me, it feels that's kind of the trend with Taco. So I never did you follow like his channel on Twitch, Dell? Watch Taco Live?
Yeah, I followed him. His happy hour streams were a bit much for me,
Okay.
but I really liked his when he was doing his video series called "Let's Taco About It." It was like a roundtable discussion of people from different avenues, like free to play, whales, krakens. Oh, it's always a good watch. But he stopped doing that a long time ago.
Mm, okay. I do remember kind of those happy hour stuff. But he's more like late night, right? Like jumping on later in the evening
Yeah,
kind of thing. And I think one time we were up. What did we do one time? He jumped into our little.
He was in our stuff one time when we were doing our show. Like he
Yeah.
was still up or something.
Yeah. It was interesting. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely. Obviously, I don't know him personally, and I didn't catch him too frequently to kind of really get a gist of like his format and personality and stuff. But I know he was a heavy, lovable member to those, and especially on that point that you just brought up, Dale. It sounds like he was in it for everybody and all. And sometimes you'll catch him on Mobile's channel, right? As far as like a little Kraken guess is what it felt like. He was like a Kraken guess where Mobile wanted to get some feedback from those that kind of spin to play and kind of see what their thoughts and opinions on certain stuff. Taco was on there, so
That's where I first heard about Taco Shooter and actually first watched him was during Thanos Giving.
yeah, that's right. That was his big intro, his platform to talk about how much that Thanos gaming sucked, right?
Hmm.
But and then I guess the other thing I don't know so much about, I mean I've heard it kind of just through the grapevines of different streamers or YouTube stuff. But oh, hitting the wrong one. Dark Dimension, Dark Dimension. But it's with Beta Ray. He didn't retire. He just took a step down from the competitiveness. Is that
That's what
correct?
I heard.
Okay.
Taco quit.
He completely quit.
Yeah. At
I
least
thought.
that's what his last stream that I rewatched yesterday alluded to. He like finished up his account, upgraded some weird stuff, opened all of his orbs and stuff at the end, and then logged out.
Okay.
Now he didn't like go in and hard delete his account, uh, but he said he's going to quit playing it, and he spent some resources. So,
Okay. Well,
did either one of you guys watch any of that?
I wanted to, but I didn't. Did you, Dale?
no, I haven't watched it.
I'll
Okay.
say it's a lot. It's 3 hours is a lot, especially if you're digging through for information. to find out, what's up
I
and
saw
how it is.
like
'Cause it,
I saw a like, clip of him, like his final part, but that was it. And just what Run Seven was talking about on Monday.
yeah. So I get it. I would never tell anybody to not quit the game if that's what they wanted to do. But after watching his stream, I am one of those assholes that he would say "fuck you" to, because I don't know that the game is worth that much drama. I saw more tears in that 3-hour video than I've seen ever in Mar. It's just not for me, and I just don't get how you can. I don't know. I guess I just don't get how you, if you're gonna quit, quit. And he's not quitting streaming and stuff like that. So I just think he took the game way too seriously. Decided he needed to be a community man, and that's a hard job, and that will take it right out of you. The more you decide to do for this community, the more you're going to get kicked in the nuts by people in this community, myself included. I'll kick people in the nuts for trying to help too, but that's just what it is, because it's a very small percentage of the community that spends hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's a very small percentage of the community that streams. So he had both weights on his shoulders of being a top heavy spending Kraken plus trying to create some content. So I get it that he wants to quit and wants it to be over. I just it's one of those things where it's like, why do you got to get divorced once you start with separation for a month? But of course, maybe he wants the cold cut, wants a cold break. And if I say it from a place of I love this fucking game. I don't ever want to quit playing this game right now. So, but also I come from a place where I get to come on to my friend's show one day a week and talk whatever shit I want, and I don't stream anything else. I don't create anything for this community, and I'm certainly not trying to help the community in a way that anybody else is. So, as much as I think that it shouldn't be taken so seriously, I kind of think he did it to himself. He made himself take it so seriously, and then got his heart broken by the community. Some of the community. Anyway, that's it. It was a long video. Sorry.
No, no, no. It was a good point. That you put it in true perspective, and that kind of led to where my thoughts and opinions from an outside. Again, I didn't dive deep into that yet. I was curious about it. I just haven't had the time. But I am curious about it, and it makes me feel bad in a sense, because I think for someone, and this is I cringe at the thought, but you kind of hit it on the nail as far as like the level of taking extra steps. It's a game for kind of 90% of the community, the small percentages of those that are taking the time to do the extra streams and uploads on video and like YouTube and stuff like that. There's a different kind of type of stress behind that as far as, and I can imagine to the level of those guys is where I'm getting at. And that's why I don't even try to see myself there, because I don't want to get into that whole stress situation where managing the Discord for a whole channel or group separate, right? To, if you want to call them fans or subscribers, whatever be the case, you got to cater to that.
Fanboys.
Yeah, and then going into the whole stream of Twitch and all that kind of stuff, and then answering to people and trying to be live action, like that's a lot to manage, man. And that's kind of the main things that for me, on a way smaller side of things, why I don't try to thread those waters, because I could just, like, for me just to do like the day-to-day Cosmic Crucible stuff, to jump in there, I kind of got the curiosity of wanting to do it live. But then again, there comes that audience, right? Whether it's negative or positive, for the most part, the Twitch people seem positive, as far as chat goes, and want to help out, and they become kind of like fans, right? They want to see you success, and they want to see you push. But then you got other percentages that are just there for info base, right? And then there really isn't much hecklers that I've seen within the community. But distraction, right? I don't even go into it. I try to just focus on as if I'm playing, which I am playing at home on my phone. But the only difference is that now I'm recording it and uploading it. But it's just kind of my style that I'm doing. And I'm just going to upload it for those that take it. And again, I'm not taking it too serious where I need to go ahead and get some other people. And that's why I don't even ping you guys too much as far as trying to get information, right? And go live. I just try to be like just a casual person, and I'm uploading it. And if it's a well misplayed battle, so be it. I cringe, and it makes me feel bad for throwing some bad content out there. But always kind of on the flip side, I think it's like just to learn. But the point of all of it, yeah. But I guess the point off of that is I'm not trying to take it too serious, and I don't want to put that stress out there. And I can see where it becomes overwhelming and why someone needs to take a break or leave. But I also understand that at the end of the day, because of how your feelings are and how things went backwards, isn't on the platform. And I haven't seen Taco, but But I've seen others that kind of go out there and they want everybody to leave with them too, and they want to kind of start burning the building. Like not
Yeah, I don't think he
everybody.
did that.
No, okay, yeah, but there,
No.
and there's some that kind of do that stuff, and it's just like, dude, like this game is bad, and they just kind of come out, like someone gets fired on the job kind of thing, and they're like, fuck all of y'all, and y'all suck, and this place is going to hell, and then they leave.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. He did actually say a date. He said a November date that this game is going to go into maintenance mode. And I love Taco, but that's bullshit. Okay, and that's just straight bullshit. It's non-factual. Look at other games that are just like it with just as successful IPs. And again, we've talked about this here before, but Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is complete 2 years older than Marvel Strike Force and is still making a ridiculous amount of money. They're not in maintenance mode, and they're fine. This game will go on and keep being. It will not be the exact same as it was, but it's going to push forward and keep going. The game's not going into maintenance mode in a few months. That's not how this fucking works. Mobile games are different now than they used to be.
Yeah.
Mobile games used to have a 3 or 4 year timeline on them, and by then they made the games so uninteresting that nobody played them anymore, and there was nobody willing to spend money on it. That's not the case with some of these hero collector games with the proper IPs, notably Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're pushing on strong, and I don't see anything really doing anything to derail them, especially from some member of the community. And no offense, you're a big member of the community, but you know what? For every one guy that streams, there's 10,000 guys that don't.
Yeah. Well said, man. We'll talk. I mean, that's a lot. I feel like I'm gonna open up a whole other can of worms as far as.
Let's do gameplay now.
Yeah, let's do gameplay because I was gonna start talking.
I didn't even want to say that shit on stream, but that's how I feel about it. Like, I really like the guy. I think
get
he's
it
fucking
up.
awesome, and I think he made the right decision. But
Yeah, but I
I am one of those guys that says don't take it so fucking seriously.
talk about. I want to say we're to old man Logan already, man. We're on this hot box. I want to stay on the hot box. All right, well, let's get away from that. Let's talk about Escape from Kyln, and we'll give you the mic, Dale. I think all of us had like all individual different experiences. Well, I'll set it up. I'll talk about mine first. So for me, this whole event, I love the Kyln events, man. I normally. I mean, it's a challenge to kind of push yourself up. And I think where, obviously where it sucks is when you get to the levels of certain traits or characters that aren't readily available at the timeline of when this thing releases, specifically Spider Society. So, Penny wasn't even available. There only was 2 of the new characters were released when this thing rolled out, and Penny comes in a few days later, and she kind of made or break it for some. There were some people that didn't have to use it, still got through. Those are the steady, the sweaty tryhards that are out there, and they just kind of push. But those, like for me, from my standpoint, I knew I was gonna unlock her. I knew I wanted to use them for raids, so I kind of had that. I don't want to say advantage, but I already had that in my mind that I'm gonna unlock her. And normally I would wait a little bit, but in the eventual time, with the timing of it for me, kind of helped me. It was just like kind of a no-brainer. I was like, I'm gonna unlock her. Let me try it out. Reran it. She helped tremendously. And the Spider Society nodes, that's all you needed was those 3. And then the Cabal, you had to kind of, again, that's another team for Cosmic Crucible that I've been all in for. So I had an easier time going through it. And thanks to Duartic, I did watch that video. And very good content as far as on how you played it. Kind of to the T. There's some little things that were off that you got to change it. Even maybe for some of our alliance mates with ISO selections and stuff like that. But nevertheless, got through it. Didn't become as frustrating. But for you, Dale, how was your experience?
Well, I'll agree with the majority of the community where this was far less fun than the last one. The fact they simply put it behind a paywall really sucked. And I think it could be reversed.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Darth, I mean, what's your thoughts and feelings on Kyln?
Like you, I found it worth $50 to beat it with ease and not spend an extra 4 hours resetting those 3 nodes. So I paid and bought Penny and unlocked her and then walked over those nodes. My main thought is I think they should have switched the last 6 nodes around. I think that they should have had Cabal in the 3 where the Spider Society were, and the Spider Society at the end, just because of the release methods and how it were released.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense. Then more people would have gotten to level 42 instead of, or 43, wherever that break is for 2 diamonds. They'd have been able to maybe beat the Cabal part and then not been able to, and then what you're working for, if you've got the two members of the new Spider Society, you're only working for 3 nodes, and maybe it makes it a little easier on your brain to hammer those nodes for 3 or 4 hours each if you're not gonna pay for the newest character. I again, as somebody that spends though, and that wants to complete these events and make sure that I spend so that I can get the character like Penny to make it easier for me to beat these events. I do agree with Dell. Like, no, it didn't feel as much fun. I feel bad for the rest of the community. A lot less of the guys in our alliance got the 3 diamond reward. At least it's only Gwenum. I mean, so I guess there's a little solace. Like the last one was kind of a big deal with it being Gambit. That one felt like a pretty big deal. It affected your wars and your crucibles. It still does. And Gwenum isn't quite the powerhouse that Gambit is for his team. So at least it just feels like the end reward of the diamond part wasn't as valuable. Now I'll tell you, I was very stoked to get all that red gear.
Yeah, same. Well, no, I think you hit it on the nail. That is probably, I think Dell would agree. If they would have flipped around that Spider Society trait to the last 3 and had Cabal up there, that would have been a huge adjustment to get as less. If Scopely and the developers there are looking for less salt, that would have helped, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just gave 6 nodes instead of 3. I guess if you're thinking about it from the money way, then it did better because there was more than because it cost you 6 nodes if you weren't gonna buy Penny or spend your life on your phone.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, and then I guess before I jump into real quick, we talked about Spider Society, going back to them. I mean, that was the big thing for the Kyln. But then the biggest thing for those that are into Cosmic Crucible was seeing what they did on defense.
Oh man, yeah, that was a big deal this week.
Yeah. So for you guys, after that experience, what are you doing with your Spider Society, Darth?
I got him on defense right now.
Okay. I can probably put them back here. The reason I pull them off, to be honest with you saw my struggle with the T4s. I didn't have Penny's T4 on her ultimate ability, which is the big one. I think it's
yeah, all the bleeds and the stun. Yeah,
it's a big deal. So I had her that first day without that T4. I was like, wow, that's kind of stupid. And then I figured, I realized it's a pretty good, mirror match on the flip side if someone does have that Spider Society in room 2. So I was kind of test it out, but I never ran across it. That's kind of why I don't have them there right now. But I'm still kind of on the fringe, which to go with Dell, what are you doing? Or what's your idea, or what's gonna be your use of Spider Society and Crucible?
I have him on defense right now. I don't know what I'll do later on. I had a rough week. I got butt kicked a lot last week. So I'm going to try them on defense and try a few other things and see how it goes.
I got you. It just feels small. But again, I think that they were small and I didn't have T4s on the necessary raid. Like the traits, which really is the big boost of throwing them in there. And that's, again, that's the reason why I put them up. But I'm going to revisit. I'm still on the fringe of what I want to do. If you do see an opponent on here, it seems like the big counter is going to be, or the more useful counter, scroll with Hive. Would you say that's correct, Darth? Or
that's what I use, and I've actually seen a better counter that's Darkhold with Hive Mind, or not Darkhold, Apocalypse with Hive Mind.
APOC.
Because then they don't spawn with immunity, and your Void Knight actually flips their buffs and shit. And then APOC goes and wipes them out. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it makes more sense to me too. I haven't tried that one yet, but I saw that a few times this week, and that's what I'm going to try next week. I think. It seems cheaper to put APOC there than to put Sus there.
That too. Hey, and speaking of, right when we jump on here, it's like Juicy doesn't pay attention to us, but once that Crucible little screen pops up, he jumps into our chat. Good morning, Juicy.
Hey, good morning, Juicy.
Yeah, that sounds good. I used to Bifrost. Because my opponent the first day did have him on defense, so I take that back. But I had mine on defense too, so I couldn't do any mirrors. And of course, he walked over me with my lack of ISO, T4s.
T4.
And then, but anyways, yeah, I did Bifrost against his. He had a pretty beefy one. I mean, they were still new, but for them to be new, he had like 5 stars or something like that. Yeah, so I did Bifrost with Scroll, but man, yeah, APOC sounds 100%
Yeah, I think
true.
Juicy's the first one to speak of the devil. Actually, he heard me talking about something I saw him do. Was the one I saw with APOC Hive Mind.
Okay. And then, but that was it. I mean, so that's them. Now for War, that was gonna be my next question. That's what I was testing out a little bit before you jumped onto Discord, Darth. What's your thoughts? I know you threw him on defense because I was surprised that you didn't test him out because normally you start doing the testing.
Yeah, I watched yours catch some crazy wins on Wednesday's War.
Yeah,
So I switched my stuff around and I took out I gave myself Gamma for offense and I put them in there and it feels like it was a fair trade.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like they pulled a giant Super Scroll team and stuff like that. Like they're a pain in the ass. I haven't seen too many myself on War, but yeah, they're not and mine aren't huge. That's boosted. Mine are only 2 million, something like that, unboosted. But
2.2.
they
Oh wait,
called a lot of oh,
that's
that's you.
yours. Yeah, that was me. Yeah,
2.5.
2.5.
So mine are about 2 million, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I was so day one when they became available on the war side of things. I had them on offense, and then I decided to use them against the New Warriors team out there. Kind of, difficult but safe. I felt, and I was
Mhm.
able to walk over them. Right now, we tested them, Dell and I, against Pegasus, and they just killed Pegasus on war defense.
Pegasus,
Yeah, they beat the
nice.
shit out of them. It was like a meal punch up, is what I was doing.
Hmm.
And I was trying to control it to a sense where like Pegasus wasn't even gonna have a turn. That's what was trying to do. But that's how
Wow.
much in control of the match I was with it. But I'm on the fence. I mean, I don't know what I want to do yet. I mean, they seem nasty on defense, like you said, so I may leave it there until we run across them, and I don't know. But that's where I have them at right now. Have them on defense, and I think Dale said right. You have them on offense so far.
Yeah, I haven't really done anything with them yet.
Yeah.
More.
Oh, war.
Right, Dell had that heartbroken week. You think he was going to put anything into Penny even if he unlocked her right then? I'd have been pissed. I'd have been like, fuck this character.
Yeah.
Oh no, my penny's already 100. I did that for
Wow.
Kyln.
Oh, you still did it for Kyln. Oh, and you didn't get through and you had her?
The first time I got through pretty easily. The second time I did not. I could not do it again because I screwed
Oh,
up
that's right.
on
That was
my
because I told you it was only going to take an hour, huh?
yeah, and I did
Oh,
cooldowns. I screwed up my cooldowns on the Cabal, so I couldn't get past the second node.
It sucks.
I will say that about it. I did watch that video you shared, like, and that was a very concise, very informative video that had no nonsense and was just straight. This is what you do, or this is what I did to succeed. I'll tell you about it and I'll show you. And it was like 10 minutes for each section. I appreciated that.
Yeah, man, it was good. To see freaking APOC go down on the one hit.
Oh, dude, from one special from Namor.
What was your reaction? I mean, seeing it on video, but having you first like experience it, like, did you like laugh out loud? Because I did.
I said, "There's no way mine's gonna do it. Mine's only 2 diamond." I said, "Mine's not gonna delete him. It doesn't matter what he said." And then he crits and just like kills Rogue too. Like that was the other impressive part. Standing right next to Rogue, just deletes Rogue too. It's like, damn, those are big tunes.
Dude, that makes me laugh and smile, man. Because I had the same thing. I was like, oh yeah, okay, come on, you got a 3 diamond Namor. That's what I thought too. I was like, well, shit, two. And it made me even like, oh man, Namor's just fucking badass. All right,
Dude, Namor's great too now. Dude,
yeah.
War, he's a fucking god, dude. I want to find two better people to put with my Cabal and make a really good War team.
Right. So here I was just showing my Spider Society where I was trying to get them up to 100. I kind of stopped because my gold spending, and now in the news that we'll jump into in the second recording. I keep teasing it, right? So let's try to wind this one out quick as I can. We're gonna jump into the blog post. So let me get the blog post going here. Here we are. This is the Panda, and
Panda cool.
he's coming out with the Mercs for money. Is that how it's labeled? Okay, yeah, Mercs for mercenary for money. And they're a war team, and that's what I want to start off with. I mean, you kind of mentioned it, Dale, I think earlier, or maybe just with me, talking about them being a war team. I don't know if you said you're excited or not excited. Are you excited about this war team or not? Oh no.
I think they're pretty cool.
Okay. All right.
It just seems that Deathpool and Deadpool are weak links to the team and may not be necessary from people's first glance.
What are you hearing?
Old Man Logan seems amazing.
Oh man, Logan. You think he's gonna be the one carrying the team from early?
Definitely seems that way.
Okay. For you, Darth, what's your opinions now?
I'm like 10 out of 10 excited. You know, I love war. I think it's going to be awesome. I like the kits of the team. I don't really care so much for Dawkins, but that's going to be okay. I'll get over that, and he'll have his spot. But I'm excited for this Panda pool. I was excited to bring my Death pool up to a diamond at level 100 in gear tier 18. I'm excited to try him out. I watched his big jump in stats over whenever they did the thing. I'm excited. It's another legendary team. It's going to come with an event that we'll talk about here in the next video. So there's almost always really exciting things for me having to do with events. I'm in. Okay, if that's what you're asking, I'm in. I'm going to buy a character release offer.
Yeah, there's your Deadpool.
Hey, yeah, there he is. That's actually before I brought him to ISO 5 yesterday because Yoshi was asking if what his stats looked like when he was maxed. I even thought about putting another diamond on it.
Yeah, you gave him a steroid shot.
That's what I'm saying, because like Panda, like if I don't know if you guys are familiar with the kits at all yet, but I've seen enough videos and read through it myself twice, I think. Like Panda Pool's not gonna die until Logan and Deadpool are dead.
Until both of them are dead.
Until both of them are dead.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's a 100% chance, and the percent chance just goes down if he's gonna revive.
Okay.
So those three, like I don't know what Dawkins gonna do, but those three seem together to be a pretty good quartet. I think the order is you have to kill Old Man Logan first because Deadpool won't die if Old Man Logan is on the field. So I think that's how it's gonna have to. They're gonna have to kill Old Man Logan, then Deathpool, and then Panda Pool. Of those three, the other two might fall down. Deathpool's probably not going to be on the team for long.
It's interesting because when I heard the news that she was that fifth member, I was like, should I do the 3 diamonds on her? Because she's like a Scopely original. And I thought she was going to contribute.
That's not a terrible
idea. And then I was like, but then like now you guys are kind of saying like, I mean, and I saw her boost, like she didn't have that big of a rework either. Maybe her stats got boosted, but a little bit of changes.
Yeah, she just did.
Yeah,
nothing big, but she just got a rework yet. I remember for the new Warriors like a year ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So so we'll see.
Yeah, but that's a big.
Mine's 101 diamond. You know, it's a Scopely original character. They're gonna keep reworking her.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, because all those Scopely originals, if I had the resources, I would be 3 diamonds on all of them. Just I think they're never gonna die off. You're laughing at Juicy, right? She's okay. All right, but anyway, so that's the news. So he's coming out. His release, so Panda Pool, is going to be coming out on Tuesday, May 7th. Here's other Cliff Note versions of their team events that's going on. They're going to be taking over, and they're going to be all starting their own showcase. I believe that should be on Tuesday as well, maybe Monday or.
We're looking at your roster.
Oh shoot, my bad. Thank you. Yeah, so here it is. The Cliff Note. Yeah, so these are the Cliff Notes I was looking at. But yeah, so this whole Mercs again, they're going to be having their showcase event next week. I'm kind of looking back and forth on my own personal notes. Because none of this, like these Cliff Notes versions here. I mean, the Battle Pass, yes, Spider Woman, cool. I mean, that's all kind of coming out on May 6th, and again, Panda Pool on the 7th. And then the Blitz event on May 10th. And that's all they talk about. But I keep looking over on my notes here because you have to scroll through it all. They talk about Panda Pool and his kits, real lengthy. There's, how do you pronounce that? Is it Dakin? Dawkins,
I think.
Dawkins. So,
I think it's that way.
Yeah, so he's going to, I didn't realize, that's the story of Wolverine's son. And so he's the other new member coming in to the game. All his kits. There's the Deadpool updates with her base stat increases, and then changes onto the special and the passive abilities. That's kind of like where Deadpool had like a little bit more as far as updatings go. So big stat increases. Or you
He
said,
needed it. He hadn't.
yeah,
He's a
older.
6-year-old character.
Yeah. So that's where his list is really getting updated there. I'm not going to go into all of that.
Best thing is he puts a stun out on his ultimate now, plus all the bleeds and stuff. That's the biggest thing that I caught.
God, when his animation is like one of the best, right? Early on when you're playing,
hmm
when he skips over.
Jump across the screen and just kill somebody. That was really cool. Year one,
Yeah.
month three, maybe not quite year one.
But here's Panda Pool. So they talk about the release on Panda Pool, and you can core it out for 675. Try that 3, 4, 5 times, who knows, to get 180 shards out of it. The Wasteland Road Trip, again, this is the whole story showcase thing for them. Skip, skip, skip.
Wants to farm every day.
Yeah, this is the one right here. The raid store update that kind of caught my attention. So we're rolling out the big updates to the raid store on May 10th. And that's why I was like, I don't see it on my notes. Oh, here it is, May 10th on these notes. And that'll get you Awaken abilities and Crimson Raid Orbs in your hands. And here's what's on the way. The Awaken abilities use your regular raid credits to grab Awaken abilities for Nova and Black Cat, which, by the way, I already have it all maxed out. Did you? How about you two gentlemen? Dale, are you still working on updating any of those characters? Like their abilities?
Deli?
I have Nova mostly done, I think. I haven't started. I have one the passive done on Black Cat. That's it. So I may start working on that. I don't know.
Yeah, and how about for you, Darth?
I did the passive on Black Cat because it was helpful in arena during the mirror matches. And I want to say I did her special too. I think that's one. Level 7, yeah. And then I did Nova's basic, I think was it. Because again, it was just a war offense thing. I haven't done anything else. I have a whole bunch of those credits still.
Yeah, you probably have more than me because my self. I don't know why I'm happy about it, but I got them all completed. Like all the characters,
nice.
Nova, Black Cat, whoever else may pop up on here, like they're all done.
Yeah, I have 484k of that currency. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping, which they didn't say in there, is that they're going to be slapping goblins in there so that I can buy goblins, because those are the ones I really want.
There you go.
Like, it's bullshit. Nobody's stuff means anything except for goblins and Crucible. And boy, I would really like some of those because I didn't buy those characters when they came out.
Yeah.
And they're just refusing to put that shit out there in the ether.
I just realized how slow they're rolling it out and how much we started getting within the raids, and I was like, you know what, I could just use it. So I felt comfortable, spending it all, using it on everybody, and now I'm just building it up because I'm done. But anyways, so yeah, the Awaken abilities, but you can purchase those now using raid credits. Then the big one on the second bullet point here is about the Crimson Raid Orbs. So use your Elite Raid credits to collect even more Crimson gear by opening the Crimson Raid Orbs. So I was excited. I mean, anything that I can do to save myself from this damn store and purchasing shit, I'm all excited about.
How many of those credits do you have? How many raid credits you got?
Oh, the one up here? You can't
the
see it right
green
now.
ones.
640.
Oh, there you go. See, I knew you'd have more than me. Yep. I have 437k. So we'll see how much those orbs cost, because I'm sure that people have millions of those.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So that was one I was kind of hidden. Then this other thing is kind of interesting, I guess. The next character poll, to go into it, just kind of recapping about Man-Thing being the one that won the last vote. And then they're putting the creative caps now by developing Karen Page's character and abilities on her team. But the voting, it's talking about, like, I guess she has some mentors. It's time to vote on this mentor. The characters will determine Karen's visual appearance, but won't be necessarily playable character on her team. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a teaser, right? You're voting on some people that are not even going to be actually in the game. But just to help determine her visual appearances. But bottom line is, vote on there. I just want to bring that up because I wasn't on the notes. I don't know if it had a date. It just said this next week.
8th.
The 8th? Okay.
The last paragraph.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. There it is, on Wednesday. It's because, again, man, free things, right? I think if you vote on it, you get some cores. So try to remember about doing that on a daily basis. And, I mean, that's all I have. I mean, I know we went pretty long on this one, so I'm going to stop it here. Because other than that, they kind of go into the milestone events and stuff like that. But that's all I had on my notes. So I'm gonna end it. So YouTube, y'all take it easy out there. Hopefully y'all start working on what you want to work on. There's a lot to build up for as we go into the second two. So we'll talk about that specifically on how we're gonna kind of rechange focuses. So we still focus on Spider Society. We have to start looking into this Mercs for Money team. What are we gonna do without a time and all that kind of stuff? So Cabal. But anyways, we'll carry over. Y'all take it easy, and hopefully y'all be ready for that second show on YouTube. Bye bye.